Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 173 for the week of September 1st, 2014. My name is Ryan Higgins, who is here with me this week.
Brock Sager.
Toby.
And Charlie.
We're recording a little bit later than normal. Some schedule change up this week. But hopefully you guys find this comes out in time for you to enjoy all your brand new comics on Wednesday. Which, if we record on Tuesday more often, we could actually spoil everything on the internet Tuesday night.
The problem is other people have spoiled it before us.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's true. We'd be reporting on what they were spoiling.
Yeah.
Not a ton to talk about this week, but a bunch of questions, and we got the wrap-up for Brock's book club pick from these guys here. So let's start with hopefully the best news of all time. Ben Edlund, creator of The Tick, one of the main creators behind the Tick animated series, and one of the main creators behind the Tick live-action TV show. He also does other things that I've been led to believe.
Well, he did some writing on Angel when it was on the air, and
Did
then
he really?
on Supernatural. Yeah, you remember the puppet episode of Angel?
I'm aware of it, but I've never watched Angel.
Yes,
so.
that was Ben Edlund, as well as some other stuff. And he did some writing on Supernatural and such like that. So
he's been doing TV stuff now.
Yeah, he's been doing TV stuff for ever.
Well, he created the Tick comic book, and there was a very, very short-lived live-action Tick cartoon. Live-action Tick cartoon. A live-action Tick show with Patrick Warburton as the title character. And apparently Amazon is filming another pilot to bring the show back, which I am totally stoked for. That show was pretty funny, even if it got killed really fast.
Yeah, it suffered from sort of the timing of when it came out, which unfortunately, as soon as it was premiering and stuff, everybody was like, this is the best show that's going to be canceled in a couple episodes because now's not the time for a show like this.
Yeah. I know they changed, what's the guy's name? Was he Batman Will in the? I'm getting it mixed up. What was his name?
It
in the
was
cartoon? Or what was his
Batman
name in the comic?
Will in the live action. It was Deflator Mouse.
Deflator Mouse. Right. Sorry. I wonder if they're going to change any of that stuff back, or if they're going to keep the tone of the live action stuff and keep it that way, or change it back to the comics.
Well, they haven't really announced whether or not they're going to get any of the other cast members back, or if it's just him. So there's a lot of questions.
They should. Deflator Mouse, Batman Will, if you will, either way, was the guyliner from Lost, and he was in Batman on Dark Knight and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, he's great. I love that guy. I love him so much I can't remember his name. So there you go.
And he was in Psych for a little while, too.
Oh, that's right. I'm very, very excited for new Tick stuff. Oh, God. They need to get whatever crap is still preventing them from, releasing a complete animated series set.
They never put out the season 3, and there was one episode from season 2 that they had rights issues on, so it wasn't on the release.
Yeah, they need to fix that crap. They really need to.
Well,
it's such a good cartoon.
If they get enough interest from a return of the live action, there's a good chance they will fix that crap so they can make money.
Yeah. I've read all the Ben Edlund stuff, and I really like that. I didn't keep up with it after that, though. Charlie, I know you've read basically every one of the comics, but the cartoon was just genius. The cartoon was
the cartoon was batshit crazy and awesome. The comic book has its moments past Edlund, but its consistency isn't necessarily quite there. Like during the Edlund stuff, everything he touched was parodying stuff that was great, and it made you laugh all the time. And there are still moments in the comic that make me laugh a lot, and there's still stuff they've done in there that I thought was really, really intelligent and a really good way to go. But at the same time, you could always tell if Edlund was involved in that stuff and when he wasn't.
Well, my question is, why did he ever stop doing it? It's like Eastman and Laird when they left Turtles. It's their comic. Like, why would you give this to someone else to work on? Like, did he just didn't want to do it anymore? I mean, it's not like they don't own the... Well, Turtles now, obviously, they don't own. But with the Tick, does he not own the comic version of it anymore? I mean, is this some other... Do you have any idea what the deal with this is? Or is he just on time?
I get the impression it's because he realized he makes more money doing television.
Yeah, sure. But still, if it's something you create, it's weird that he would farm that out to a bunch of other people.
So his stuff on the Tick ended on a cliffhanger, and he's been quoted a number of times saying that he will eventually go back and write that issue 13.
What the hell?
They even did a pseudo issue 13 written by somebody else just to resolve that cliffhanger. So supposedly the doors sort of opened at any time for him to go back and pick up the reins of the Tick again. But as I said, I'm not sure the Tick comic would sell that much better if he was back writing it for a couple issues or whatnot. I don't really have a concept of people being that aware of the fact that he was the Tick creator, and like if he had a big return and stuff, I'm sure the book would sell better. But not compared to writing episodes of Supernatural and Angel and all that, I'm sure.
Of course. Well, we had a bunch of Marvel news, actually, this week. Charles Soule, who's been working for DC, he's been doing a little bit of work for Marvel, working on She-Hulk, took over Inhuman. Although Death of Wolverine, which comes out tomorrow, obviously obviously his most high-profile book to date, he is signed exclusively with Marvel. They have kind of stopped doing these exclusive things in recent years, so it's weird that this kind of going back on with that. It says here, this is from Comic Book Resources, where this got announced, that on the DC titles, he'll be continuing through the March 2015 issues. So he's obviously written quite a ways ahead. I mean, that's more than 6 months away, book-wise. So 7 months. So we'll have a good number of issues for all his work to kind of finish up. So it's not like it just ends tomorrow. But
my guess is Marvel just realized if we get him exclusive, he can write like 10 books for us every month.
Well, his stuff across the board has been good to great. Red Lanterns is good. Swamp Thing's been really good. What I've read of his, I'm not current on it, but I've read the first couple story arcs. Superman Wonder Woman's been I thought really good. Although I'm very, very excited for Peter Tomasi to take over that. Very excited. She-Hulk's awesome. Inhuman I can give two fucks about. And I actually read Death of Wolverine #1, although we'll talk about it next week when we have a couple issues out because I don't want to spoil it. But it was actually a pretty good first issue. Yeah. So,
but again, he can write so many books, and from what I understand, he has another full-time job. And
well, he actually said, here is exactly the part of his from his blog where he announces this. Charles Soule says, "So I signed a deal at all if things were so great," talking about it being really good working for DC. Where was I? Soule wrote, "Well, it's pretty simple. Writing 8 titles a month, which I've been doing for quite a while now, is no joke. It's a constant tightrope walk requiring serious focus and discipline. I've proven myself that I can do it, but now that I have, it's time for a different challenge. I want to know what I can accomplish with a smaller slate, where I can really dive in. I've accomplished breadth. Now I want to see about depth." Well, for a guy writing 8 books, they've been pretty fucking awesome across the board. So I don't know if he's writing 4. Does it get better? Does it get way better? I don't know. I mean, you would joke about guys like Fabian Nicieza are writing half the Marvel line back in the 70s or back in the 90s. I mean, and Johns was writing at least 4 books a month a few years ago. So him coming in and writing literally 8 books a month is crazy. Oh, and Letter 44 will be continuing if you read that, his only book. So. Yeah, sucks to see him leave DC, but hopefully he's got some big stuff up at Marvel.
And hopefully DC can get somebody good backing Swamp Thing, so we can still get some Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, they haven't announced anything, obviously, so we got months before they'll announce something. I'm sure they're working on some new creators to come in. So.
Avengers changed the artist, though, on She-Hulk.
Oh, the last couple issues of She-Hulk have been... I mean, they're good stories, but the art is fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
Really bad. I don't know. It would work for just some kind of weird indie comic, but it just does not work for a book like She-Hulk. It's been so hard to read.
Now, Marvel should get the artist that's on Swamp Thing. Right, Charlie? For She-Hulk? Yeah.
I could kind of see that, but
I don't know who's doing Swamp Thing now.
To a degree, I'm not sure that's 100% the right fit.
Well, better fit than what's on there currently.
Well, but that's easy.
So I'm looking at this Avengers. I believe this is the cover for Avengers 38, which is coming up here, which is the most currently solicited issue. And there's a picture of Captain Marvel, the female Captain Marvel. However, looking at it, it totally looks like Speedball. Because she's got, like, the orange shoulders, the blue top, the big poofy yellow hair. It totally looks like Speedball.
This is me just going, I think you're going through mourning for the new Warriors book here.
Nah, I knew that was... No, seriously.
Wait, Speedball's turning into Captain Marvel? What the fuck?
You don't think... Here, this is great radio. Does that not look like Speedball to you? Charlie, turn to your left. Does that not look like Speedball? Look, that looks like Speedball.
Okay, you got me.
That looks like Speedball.
Speedball with boobs.
Well, it's my greatest nightmare and
Your
dream.
greatest dream?
Yeah.
Speedball with boobs.
So anyway,
Oh, jeez.
we well, I guess it's not an official announcement. Marvel released basically this thing saying, hey, we'll do some exchange program for you for some covers, and one of them is for Avengers number 44 final issue variant. So apparently, issue 44 of Avengers is the last issue, because they talked about all the Marvel Avengers Now relaunch coming up. So with 38 being the currently solicited issue, 6 months from now, Avengers 44, April, sounds about right for a big summer crossover, big summer reboot. So there you
We're
go.
doing the all now Marvel new?
No, it's all Avengers Now, because they're redoing all the Avengers books.
Oh,
so I don't know if that includes Hulk or some other kind of outlier books. I'm assuming Avengers World, Avengers Underground.
Say it, Charlie, say it.
No, I'm actually just remembering why I hate you right now, bro.
I mean, Secret Avengers is gone. Avengers World has to be gone. I'm assuming Underground, I think they've already announced that's ending. I mean, I don't know if Hulk gets a relaunch or not. She-Hulk probably doesn't. Surfer doesn't. But yeah, Cap, Thor, Iron Man, we know those are all getting relaunched. The Avengers books are getting new creative teams. So there you go. Avengers 44, final issue of volume 975 or whatever it is now. Yeah, because Avengers 35... Or no,
You're not
sorry.
still collecting all the single issues, are you?
Of Avengers?
Yeah.
No, I stopped at the end of Disassembled.
Ah.
I just went through the original OG series.
Yeah.
Well, plus the...
What if they renumber it to, like, OG again?
Nah, I don't care.
You give up?
Nah, I'm done.
Okay.
I got through... I mean, we already did that with the Heroes Reborn, Heroes Return stuff, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Time Runs Out is the big new Avengers arc that kind of runs through the end
So
of
you combine
Avengers.
all of that stuff, including Avengers number 1?
Bind it?
Yeah.
No. I will not be binding it. But while we're waiting for Avengers number 44, we have Axis, which is the big event that's coming up right now from Marvel. And what's this guy's name? The stupid guy at Marvel, David Gabriel, who's like their like retailer liaison guy.
Have you talked to this guy personally?
I have a couple times.
And how is he as a liaison?
Like, DC at least tries, Dark Horse Image try. Like, Marvel can give two fucks. They don't care. They don't care at
You're
all.
gonna take the shit we put down the pipe and just put it on the shelf.
They don't. And he's so out of touch with everything. It's embarrassing to talk to him. Sorry, David Gabriel, if you're listening to this podcast, but you're very difficult to talk to. I mean, I've talked to him in email a couple times, and like I think on the phone like once. That's it. Anyway, January 2015, there will be a massive shift to the Marvel Universe, according to him. Big changes coming up. It's post-Axis.
Yeah.
I guess, is Axis going to be 8 issues? Is that...
I
it'll
don't
be like
know
in the middle of
offhand.
it? Are they double... I think they're double shipping Axis, so that may be like right post-Axis. I don't know how they're doing it.
I don't know. I'm just expecting it to be crossing over into like every single book they publish at that point in time. So
Yeah. Well, they're doing 2 books are coming out on New Year's Eve. I guess, is that going to be the skip month this year? Because in the past years, they've had skip months, or skip weeks, on Christmas week. But this year, Wednesday is the 24th and the 31st, so Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve, the 31st, is probably going to be the skip week for comic books, where there won't be technically any new releases. However, companies put out a couple new releases. Mark Waid's Shield #1 will be one of them, and a surprise title being released that day.
Star Wars?
No, Star Wars is January.
Okay.
They've already announced all that stuff. So no, this is like Marvel U stuff. So something big's coming from Marvel. Something big. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's not. I don't know. Not something bad.
Who haven't they killed?
That's
in a
all I
while?
Well, they killed Wolverine. That just happened.
It's gonna be Gambit #1. Biggest news Marvel can do.
Could be. You never know. I got nothing.
It could
Toby.
be the death and return of Gambit all in the same month.
This is the shortest news segment in any of the scraps. Listen.
That's because that was a pitched in. You're
Well,
like,
there's nothing to talk about.
just let Ryan talk. Just-
One of those dead weeks. I wanted to talk about some new stuff. If you got something to say about any of this, say something. Otherwise,
I got something to say. I'm kidding.
you have something to say because you've been gone. You and Charlie have missed a few episodes. There's been kind of some.
We've been gone?
Well, so we've had to talk about other stuff.
Oh.
You guys missed an episode, and then we're back here.
Oh, yeah.
Peter.
We did the Doctor Who.
Peter on Twitter
Hello,
has
Peter.
wanted to know this for a few weeks, so now you guys can talk about it here.
Okay.
Korra season 3. I don't watch Korra. He actually asks, why don't I watch Avatar and Korra?
Yeah, because you're a loser.
It's on my queue. It's on my list to watch
Everything
eventually.
Everything you don't actually care about is on your
it
queue
totally
and on your
is.
list.
I will watch
That's all
Avatar.
it is. That's all it
At
is.
sometime the lotto, the pull, the little, the whatever you pull a little lever down, whatever the thing is called, go to a
The
casino
slot
or whatever.
machine?
Yeah, the slot machine of TV shows for me to watch will eventually just
So,
go.
do you have an app that literally you've put that's connected to your TiVo that has everything that you haven't watched, and you shake it and then wait to see what it
It's
ends
not
up
TiVo
on?
at this point. It's
Well,
my Netflix
but instead
queue.
you watch
For
like
me,
all the Simpsons over.
it's just going to be one of those things where he's going to start it. He's going to get through about a season and a half.
No.
Toby and I will ask him over and over and over, so where are you now? And then he's going to be like, oh, well, I started this up now.
No,
so.
when I generally start stuff, especially if it's over, I work my way through it. I mean, the only thing that I haven't
Yes,
recently
Mr. Stargate.
is Stargate because we're looking at 17 seasons and 4 movies. That's a little bit daunting.
It took you a while to get going on Doctor Who. It was just the 50th that made you, finally lit the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stargate needs a 25th?
So by Korra season 4, you will actually start watching it so that you
Yeah.
could finish it, right?
Maybe. But talk about Korra. We have a
I-
lot of fans of that show, even though it's not a comic book.
I know
but
we've been a little more
well,
quiet about it this
I
time
sh-
around.
I should say it's actually a very, very successful comic
Well, it
book.
was a crazy quick season,
It
technically.
was.
because
It
of
was
the way
like a
they
bizarre
released it.
season. I mean, it was like, first we get like a whole bunch right away, and then it was off for a week, and then it was back on, and then it decided to go internet only. So it was a little bizarre of a season.
Now,
but-
how was it watching it on the internet?
I actually prefer to watch it on the phone, which I then AirPlay to the TV. So I still want to watch it on the TV personally. And yeah, I don't mind that it's on the internet. I just want a way to watch it on the TV, which I figured out eventually. Their website though is very much more based for kids, not for adults. So, going to actually
feel a little
figure.
weird?
No, it's more like where's the freaking episode, and they're like all floating around, and it's like why am I have to go shove SpongeBob around to get to my core?
You have to
It's a little
follow
weird.
like a map of Mario and move.
No,
things
it's
and
just
stuff.
like they're like
That would be
floating
kind of
bubbles.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I actually really like the show. The second season, I kind of went downhill a little bit. A lot of people, it lost a lot of people at that point. I don't think it went bad. I just like, some of the non-talk storyline was dragged over. The villain was maybe a little predictable, and all the teen romance stuff started going on my nerves a little bit. And they kind of went away with all of that in this season. The villains were superb. I mean, just really, really cool villains. I mean, I actually would watch a show on just the villains at this point. They were really cool. The storylines were epic. They brought back Prince Zuko. Spoilers, actually. I should say that up first. Zuko comes back. He's the Fire Lord now. He rides a giant dragon, like a Chinese dragon. It's freaking badass.
Is he the one that you're in love with? That's on the back of that Korra art book.
No, that's Avatar 1. He was actually, that was the highlight in second season. In the second season, in the mid-season, they did this storyline. It's basically called The Beginning. And then it goes back to the first Avatar ever, like how it all started. And it's basically about Avatar 1, who is voiced by the guy from Walking Dead, the Asian Glenn.
Okay.
Yeah, and it basically goes about him, how he... Because the storyline goes that these people that live on these lion turtles, they have to go out in the world, and they get powers from the lion turtles to protect themselves from the spirits. So what this dude did, he basically stole the power first... And then because he stole it, they got him back, and they were like, "Well, now we're gonna ban you." But then he got the lion turtle to say, "Oh, I'll keep the power." And then he figures out there's other lion turtles in the house. That's how he gets the other power. So it's actually a really cool story. And the third season, Yeah, I mean, the villains were just phenomenal. What happened in the second season, there's a big event that happens, and it basically gives birth to the airbenders. Like, there's a bunch of new airbenders that show up again. And so in this season, Korra actually goes on this journey trying to find all the airbenders so that, you know, Tenzin can rebuild the air society, the airbending society. And that's just kind of the beginning of it all. So it's, yeah. Charlie.
Yes. To me, the fun part about explaining all that is I immediately want to explain why there are no airbenders.
Yeah.
We could just explain to you the entire series from Avatar to Korra right now.
Oh, did you enjoy this third season?
The third season was good. I liked a lot of what they did. I like the way they are kind of changing things up from season to season. Like, Avatar was just one long story arc, essentially. Like, it had a theme per season, but it was one big epic story, and it was all about leading up to that, where Korra is much more about, okay, we've already done that. This time we're going to just do season-long story arcs that sort of have ramifications for the world, and you don't necessarily know where the next season's going to go and where it's going to focus, and it's going to sort of explore the mythology a little bit more. And I have definitely appreciated that. I concur with Toby. The villains this season, where certain bits of their motivation were very one-dimensional, I thought they did a very, very good job of sort of upping the threat level and in a very good way also tying it towards everything that came before and possible directions of where they can go from here.
I think
so,
more than ever they've tied it into the original series.
I am really, really glad that, from what I understand, production is basically done with all the planned Legend of Korra, so they can't pull the plug now.
I was going to say, so is there going to be more? Because they did pull it off TV.
4 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
and
one
that's
more.
it.
Yeah, that's one more. I mean, it's too bad. The original, when it was like 22 episodes a season, which I actually loved. They were able to do episodes like an episode just about the animals going off, like basically no talking the entire episodes. With a 12 to 10 and 10 to 12 episode season, you can't really pull that kind of stuff off anymore. So in that sense, it's kind of sad, because with the 22 episode stuff, you could really go off into some other stuff, and I kind of missed that. Also, the original series felt a lot more journeyful in ways, just because you really do feel like they went traveling to another nation, and it took a while to get back and stuff like that. Here, things just kind of happen, like boom, 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 right? So in that sense, the originals felt a lot more epic. But, you know, that's what they were given, so I'm glad they're making this show. So, one more season. But in this season, they tied it way more to the original stuff. One of my highlights in this season was when Korra actually talks to Zuko for advice, and then she mentions that she was talking to his uncle in the spirit world, and he was like, "What? You've been talking to him?" Like, basically, he's passed, right? So it's some really touching scenes that they brought back, and that I really like.
Oh, I will.
One day in like 20 years, watch it.
Well, they're only half-an-hour episodes. I can burn through them.
Yeah, they go really fast, especially as it's only 10 episodes a season. 12.
I've been throwing a lot of stuff on my Netflix queue and actually watching a lot more stuff on Netflix, because, I mean, I still TiVo all, like, brand new stuff, but I've been slowly, like, going through old stuff and watching stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, and you just watch Simpsons over and over and over again.
We TiVo'd the entire marathon
Jesus
to just
Christ,
have
wow.
on, to just be able to access whenever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, Leanne's...
Are you deleting them as you go, or are you just leaving them on?
No, we're right. Just leaving them. I mean, it only filled up, like, 35% of our TiVo or something.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. We got one of, like, the not the Romeos, but the second more recent one, so it has a giant ass hard drive.
But I really, really do recommend Korra.
Yeah.
But you should watch the original first. I still think compared to the original is far better.
Yeah, I want to. I think I'll just watch the movie, then I'll just go right into Korra.
No. No.
Cartoons are for little kids, right?
Okay.
You know I'm joking.
I was gonna say,
but it still feels like a
you guys
want to
hear what strangling Ryan for his life sounds like? We could put this on display right now.
Well, here's the most dangerous question. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Tillimtor on Twitter asks, now that Disney is releasing Infinity 2.0 with Marvel characters, would you buy a DC version like DC Skylanders? For those that don't know what
Skylanders?
For those that don't know what Skylanders or Disney Infinity is.
I would think that'd be hella awesome if they did that.
Well,
that'd be awesome.
A couple years ago, Activision, right? Released a game called Skylanders, which
Yeah.
was based on Spyro, which is one of the old PlayStation
2 games, right?
adventure
one? I think it
characters.
might be in PlayStation 1. I think.
Isn't it like 4 years now or something crazy like
Yeah,
that?
4 or 5 years, yeah. They're figures that you put on a base, and the figure then goes into the game, and they activate little powers within the game. You change what you do. Oh, I have to go through a fire door. Well, you have to have one of the fire figures to go through the fire door. It's genius, right? They're action figures that you
Yes.
then put into the game. But when you beat stuff, I got experience or I leveled up. It saves it to the physical piece.
Yeah, the physical figure has a chip in it to save your leveling information.
The
and-
NFC, near field communication,
The RF chipset? Or is it an actual?
NFC is what it's called, which is like you just swipe it near it or you put it on top of it. And so like you want to go to your friend's house and play, you can bring your character over and stuff. Disney released Disney Infinity, which was their Disney version, and now 2.0 is all, the launch is all Marvel stuff.
It's weird because they've announced 2 different starters for it
Well,
now.
there's like the Disney one and then the Marvel
Yeah.
starter, which is all Avengers, and there's a Guardian set, and it's all
I just
movie
find
stuff,
it
obviously.
funny that they both include the full game. So,
Yeah. Well, it's, that's how they do it. But then
I'm just wondering to see if they do single releases for either of the figures from the starters or if
Oh, of
they're
course.
really going to charge you.
No, they'll all be individual or like a box set. Like there'll be an Avengers set or like a base Disney set or whatever. They have to. There's no way they're gonna. You have to buy the game both ways. There's no way. If you have a Wii U and you have Disney Infinity, I believe it's Infinity on the Wii, you can install it for free
Okay.
on the Wii U. You just
You
have
can
to.
install it for free, and as long as you have a portal and figures, you
Right,
can play on it.
Right. Which
It
which I think
doesn't
is-
even really matter if it's from the Wii or
the
you
Wii.
could have it for the PS3 and the hardware's the same.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, as long as you have the pieces signed, that's really cool.
Ironically, I had it for the Wii U. My game disc died,
Ooh.
and then they allowed the free download.
Jeez. Well, there you go. Well, anyway, so Skylanders, because it's just whatever. I mean, Charlie, I know your kids play Skylanders, and I borrowed it from you and actually
Yeah.
played it for a little bit. It's cool. It's just, it's just a game. Disney Infinity has been mostly avoidable because they have some cool pieces so far, but I heard the game was just kind of okay.
The
Not as
prob-
good as Skylanders.
The problem I have with Disney Infinity is so you have the sort of mashup toy box world where you can kind of create whatever you want and do all this stuff, and it's not so story driven. Like Skylanders has an actual story you can play through and such, and you still have sort of like story levels. But if you go to the Pirates of the Caribbean, you can only play the Pirates of the Caribbean characters and
Right.
do all that there. And
which I found that weird.
and from what I understand, from what one of my sons keeps telling me, to like do the full unlock for those areas, you have to have all the figures
Yeah.
that go
That's
with
lame.
that. And it
Well, it sounds like from what I read for 2.0 is they're putting Toy Box is much more the focus.
Yeah.
Which is user created content.
Yeah.
Which I don't. That's cool, but it's the thing that's
I'm just
keeping
sold on the fact that you have your Avengers have already been announced.
Right.
So you have all your base Avengers characters.
Right.
You have Spider-Man with basically Ultimate Spider-Man characters.
And
going along with
here
it.
is what's keeping me from
And
being.
then you have Guardians of the Galaxy, and all of them have been
and
announced.
that is kind of the one thing that's really preventing me from just going full bore into this is because it's based on all the current shitty Marvel animated stuff. That's kind of the one thing that's keeping me from really going crazy. But if I hear good reviews of 2.0, I'll probably grab it because I can at least mute the TV when I have the Nova figure on and pretend it's Rich Rider. I could just like dub it or something. I'll do something with it. But the Guardian set looks really cool.
Yeah,
and I
it
do
does.
like the Avengers figures mostly look good. I
Yeah.
think they look cool. So, and I mean,
the collector's edition is just insanely
I don't know.
expensive.
And it has that big giant, like Frost Giant. I don't know why
Yeah.
they have that. But there's some cool figures from 1.0 that I would want, and there's a couple of the Disney characters from 2.0 I would want.
Yeah.
However, much like Amiibo, which is Nintendo's upcoming version of this, which is going to be available for a bunch of different games, I'm fucking doomed if they ever did a DC version of this because I would buy them all. So DC and Warner Brothers Interactive, make one if you hate me and you love money.
See, since Skylanders got announced, I've been waiting for them to announce a Pokemon version of this just
I
to
know,
tell you.
that's
That's
kinda
what
weird.
Amiibo. I mean, Amiibo has at least
They're starting
launch-
with some of the Mario
Has
characters and like
Pikachu
Pikachu and
so far.
Jigglypuff. No?
No, it's Kirby.
Oh, it's Kirby?
Yeah.
But
Damn.
honestly, the second Skylanders came out and
Yeah.
I was aware what it was, I'm like, when they do the Pokemon version of this, Ryan will be
Yep.
so broke.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Nintendo one, again, the price on the Nintendo ones are like $12.99 a figure, which is higher than both Infinity and
No.
Skylanders.
No, it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
For the single figure?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
I
really
thought, I
expensive.
thought they had the 3 packs were like $20.
No,
and-
no.
Are those just like sale prices? Or
Maybe.
Skylanders and Disney Infinity have a fairly high base price, but constantly go on sale.
Okay.
Like
okay.
they're very rarely when someplace doesn't have them on sale.
Like, I really think the figure designs are really, really cool. I have absolutely no interest in the game whatsoever.
Oh,
And
Infinity, or-
unfortunately for the 2.0, one of the few things I'm aware of right now is Stitch only seems to come in the second version of the starter.
Yeah.
Ah, you sons of bitches. Well, look, I'm going to get my Phineas and Ferb characters. I'm going to get the Platypus. I'm gonna get my Stitch and hopefully all the rest of the Lilo and Stitch characters, but again, no interest
You're
in
going
the
to get
game.
Star Wars too. Soon.
Well, rumor is Star Wars is 3.0, but that
I
won't
do
be
want the
till next
Rocket
year.
Raccoon also.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Totodile and Pokemon.
I
can't say that I won't have Infinity 2.0 at launch. It's just as it gets closer, we'll see if I pull the trigger. But
Personally, I'm just so what happened with 1.0 because I did get it for my kids is there was a coupon at Toys R Us. Like in general, if you pre-order it, and that's what's going on right now, if you pre-order the starter, you get a additional figure free.
okay,
So they do that basically everywhere. Like Best Buy is doing it, GameStop's doing it, Toys R Us. Like most places you can pre-order are doing this promotion. Toys R Us with 1.0 put out a coupon you could print out to take 50% off a additional purchase with the purchase of the starter. And then on top of that, for some reason, Walmart had all the 3-packs at 50% off, like that week of release. And like,
Wow.
it's one of those few instances where I'm like, I just spent a ton of money, but most of it was at 50% off.
yeah.
Well, the funny thing about these figures is I'm waiting for them to go on sale. But once they go on sale, I'm not only finding other toy collectors, I'm basically finding every mom and every kid there is. So
yeah.
the figures I want, they're never there by the time I get there. So I'm still waiting on getting mine.
I'm kind of wondering that with Amiibo. I mean, I know I definitely want to get a couple of them, but I'm not ready.
Depending on how they look, dude, I'm going to be in real trouble, dude,
they've
because I'm a
shown-
classic. Yeah, I know. Some of the poses, I'm like, I maybe could live it out. But if there's some classic poses, man, I'd be like, yes.
Yeah.
If
I'm
they're like mini
totally
statues.
expecting they're going to turn into this. Now we have Marvel variants where Mario's doing different things.
oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
sure,
And there's
of
going to be
course.
like, Fire Mario,
Yeah.
Tanuki Mario.
Sure.
Yep.
They will.
That's okay. I'm still hoping they'll just solicit them through previews, and then all our problems will be solved.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
no, you'd be like you're on Twitter going, please justify why I need to get like 4 of these.
Oh, I wouldn't even ask at that point. But to answer your question, yes, I would love a DC version. That would
And those would need to go through previews also.
kill me, but yes, I would love it. What else we got? Jason asks, what new Marvel movie would you like to see besides Doctor Strange, since that seems like it's most likely going to be happening? Black Widow, Black Panther,
Who's playing Doctor
Inhumans,
Strange?
Nova, others? I mean, that's not officially announced yet, but
Oh,
it's
I want Oberyn
Oh.
from Game of Thrones to play Doctor Strange.
talk. I have to look something up.
Okay.
Take your
Well,
pick.
that's what I want. But anyways, going back real fast to the toys about your stupid cartoon tie-ins, the Ultimate Spider-Man one. Lego put out an Ultimate Spider-Man set. It's the Daily Bugle. And it's really cool because it actually comes a really cool Doctor Doom Lego figure.
Oh, nice.
It comes a really cool Noah figure. That one is badass, dude.
Okay, I have seen that because I've looked up the Nova figure online occasionally.
Yeah.
No, I got it. I got the Nova figure.
You
I
did? The Lego one?
Yeah,
that one's.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's not the Nova you like, but you can pretend
It's whatever. Yeah, it's fine.
But it comes with a really cool, J. Jonah and a really cool Doctor Doom. Well, both of which I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just get it for little minifigures. It's really cool.
Before we get to this Marvel movie question, I actually did have a little bit of DC movie news that I forgot to mention.
Oh yeah.
Warner Brothers registered for URLs. the
Oh
other
yeah.
day.
Wonder Woman 1, Wonder Woman 2, Wonder Woman 3.
JusticeLeagueFilm.com,
Okay.
ShazamMovie.com,
Uh-huh.
WonderWomanTheMovie.com, and AquamanMovie.com.
Woohoo!
So there you go. Rumor mill. But what Marvel movies do you want to see? Nova. The end. New Warriors. 6 volumes in a movie. Hashtag. It's gonna happen. Gotta happen. We just had Volume 5 canceled.
I'm in for that.
Hashtag 6
I just want
volumes
my
in a
old.
movie.
See, it's funny because I think we talked about this before. Me and Ryan both love the New Warriors. I just hate his 2 characters on the New Warriors, and I think he hates the 2 characters I love
I
on
don't
it.
hate any of the characters, but Night Thrasher and Silhouette are the 2 least
Oh my
interesting
God,
characters to me.
no!
I just...
We could get rid of Noah and Speedball. Speedball's the worst on the New Warriors.
No.
Yes.
Incorrect.
Marvel movies. I mean, they're touching on so many characters as it is going forward.
So what do you want?
I mean, it really. I mean, She-Hulk would be cool to see. You said Black Widow, Black Panther would be cool to see. Real Captain Marvel, not the female Captain Marvel.
At this point, they've both been around the same amount of time.
Yeah, Thunderbolts would be pretty cool if they could swing. I mean, I don't know whether or not it'd be new team or old team, but yeah, I mean, Charlie, you want Cable and the X-Force, right?
Characters that characters that could not use.
So what's the question? What other Marvel movies would like them to do?
Yeah,
Huh.
just pick one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, New Warriors. So I like to see that.
Exactly.
Like to see that.
6 volumes in a movie.
I would like to see, of course, it will never ever happen, a Gambit movie from when he's a kid all
not
the way till
Marvel,
he's
but
grown
okay.
up. Yeah, that's. Oh yeah. Oh, it's with Marvel Studios movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there are Iron Fist.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's at this point, it's everything but X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man.
Iron Fist is happening, by the way.
Yeah, they're doing a TV.
Yeah, it's a show. Yeah.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Moon Knight movie would be awesome.
Yes.
Especially if they do something good.
Yes. Moon Knight versus the Bushman. Oh man, this could be really
Night
cool.
versus the Bushman.
All right, I got 2 more questions here.
Well,
Peter,
I'd like to see a good Punisher movie for once.
I'd like, yeah. I mean,
I think that's actually going to happen soon.
Is it?
I think so.
After seeing Dirty Laundry, I actually really want to see
Dirty Laundry was awesome.
Thomas Jane back even.
I think they'll do a Punisher movie, like a cheapy one, in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Just
That'd be cool.
not totally weird like the last one, just a more legit straight
yeah.
Punisher
well,
movie.
the first Punisher was okay. The last one was weird. That Dirty Laundry short that they did 2-3 years ago now.
Oh man, it's
It
so
was-
good.
it was just awesome.
That
Yeah.
7 minutes it was far better than anything they put on film officially.
All right, Peter's got a question here.
Peter.
From earlier. He says, has following an artist/writer/creator on social media ever turned you off from being a fan of their creative work?
Life feel no,
Hey, it's almost like this question was made for Ryan.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
yes. Period. Moving on.
Mark.
Miller.
Well, that's even that's before like social
all right, so
media.
who have you recently gotten?
I have a long mute list. Okay, let's just put it that way because I'm sick of seeing people retweeted.
Maybe they have a long mute list that consists of you.
I guarantee that like 9/10 of the people that follow me at this point have just muted me. Like, there's no
They're
way
like-
anyone reads the shit I put on there. I'm the fucking worst. I really am. I'm miserable on there, but other people are miserable too. So I just.
I haven't muted you yet.
Good.
I haven't muted you.
Good.
My Twitter doesn't even work anymore.
What?
Yeah, I got locked
So by
out.
default, he muted everybody. Kind
Yeah.
of.
So should people no longer follow Toby XI?
I don't know what's going on. So first I was sending out porn. I can't log in. They're saying my thing has been. Yeah, it's really weird.
Did you hack a lot of cell phones this last weekend?
Oh
or-
sure, I love to hack cell phones. I wish I was that smart, dude. I really do. Sadly, I'm not. I can hack.
Great. Now there's a nude picture
I can
of
hack a
Ryan Higgins
sandwich.
up there on the internet.
Hack a sandwich.
Hack a sandwich.
Next question.
Charlie, here's a question for you.
Woohoo!
I don't get any questions tonight.
Well,
Nothing.
this is a good Charlie question. Besides HeroClix, you guys play any comic book themed board games? Actually, I don't know any. So what should we play? This is from Wesley. I haven't played too many board games. I know I've checked out some of the not trading card games, the deck building games.
Yeah, I
that they
tried.
did.
I have the DC deck building game.
Yeah.
That's fun. I don't have the expansion yet. I want to get that. And of course, there's a Forever Evil expansion coming out for that too.
Ooh,
So
nice. I know there's that Walking Dead game that came out a couple. Oh, is that another deck building one?
They should do a Walking Dead Civilization game where the zombies
Oh,
are
what game?
moving.
I don't know.
Civilization.
Oh, Civilization.
Yeah, where
There's
the zom-
actually a fantastic game called Zombies. Have you ever
I
played that?
heard of it
I've
actually.
played that.
It's awesome. They could totally just do a Walking Dead version of that game. It's just
Expansion.
I'm
survivors.
surprised they haven't.
Yeah, it's just
already.
survivors versus zombies.
Expansion.
I love that game. Oh, man, I haven't played that in such a long time.
That's okay.
We should do
I
a
just
game
need
night.
the
We never
Dalek
played
wrist.
board games with Ryan.
I play with Marshall a lot.
Yeah, Marshall, the
Marshall's-
one guy
Marshall's-
that's not on the
Like
podcast.
Marshall's the board game guy. He plays a ton of board games.
Yeah, he does.
So
Marshall is a very good game player.
yeah.
So
A
if
very, very
it's
good game player.
Thursday, call the shop and ask about board games.
No, because we don't sell board games. Don't bug
No,
Marshall
if
about
you're
that.
asking just for information.
No, don't ask
No.
Marshall because he'll get mad. He'll be like, "Who the hell? We don't sell board games. Why are you talking to me?"
Because we told them to.
Yeah. Anything else, Charlie? Anything jump in there?
Just
This is-
other than the DC deck building game, I enjoyed that a lot.
There's lots of licensed
Personally,
stuff.
yeah, there's like a lot
I've
of
been
Monopoly
collecting
and stuff. Yeah.
various chess sets
Oh,
featuring
yeah.
comic book
Oh, yeah.
characters. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Eagle
My
Moss.
Batman moves against your gambit.
Eagle Moss, which is a UK magazine and figure publisher. They do these Marvel and DC like pewter figures, and now they're working on like chess piece
Yeah.
versions of them. They're really nice.
Yeah, I have the full Batman so far. I'm almost done with the Justice League, especially if I can figure out what happened to that Cheetah figure. And then I'm just started on the Marvel, basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
I have awesome chess sets.
I know you really like them because actually you hide them from your kids.
Do you think they would survive
No,
if I didn't
absolutely
hide them
not.
from
But
my
I think
kids?
it's awesome when I come to your house. You're like, come and look at these chess pieces, and they're like hidden away behind a door, behind a cupboard. I was like, oh,
And one last
I
question.
know how to keep my chess pieces safe.
yes,
One last question from Joseph.
Joseph.
In lieu of the eternally postponed independent publication episode, which we've talked about doing a few times, we should actually do that sometime. He just wants to hear us talk about licensed properties in comic books.
Uh-huh.
I find that my interest in the licensed comics dwindles very rapidly these days. I used to be really into like the Star Wars comics. I really actually liked the new Transformers comics when they were up. I tried like the Ghostbusters one that came out. Toby, I know you were like huge into like the He-Man and like Thundercats books when they got their big relaunches, like early 2000s.
I was the Van Staple stuff. Yeah, I really like that. Well, it's basically done by a bunch of super uber He-Man fans.
Yeah, but I just
It's-
find in general the licensed stuff recently has not. We haven't had like that big licensed release. I mean, there's a lot of it. IDW publishes a ton of it right now.
Yes.
Boom publishes a lot of it, but I don't.
Well, I know the X-Files stuff. I read.
I've fallen
and
behind
it's
on.
okay. Like again, I read the first
I
couple.
I
and-
enjoyed it for what I what I read.
In general, I like it. I do find it weird that they've gone out of their way to undo some of the stuff in the ending. I was a big fan of the Farscape comic when it was coming out, and that's actually an example of a licensed property that I think they handled properly because they told the story they wanted to tell, and then they stopped. Like it had
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
finale, and then they stopped.
Didn't the Serenity and Firefly comics do really well?
oh yeah,
And they're still coming out.
Yeah. Wait, do you consider that license if the creator's actually involved? Like Josh
still
Whedon
can-
is kind of involved in those.
I
isn't
guess
he?
those are actually probably that and the Buffy and Angel stuff. I guess would be the biggest ones right now.
Right, but would would you consider that a license thing?
Yeah, sure.
Or
but
or do you consider license thing where the creator or the owners are letting the other people do whatever they kind of want?
Here's my
still licensed.
Yeah.
my kind of rant when it comes to licensed properties. So, Farscape, they had a particular story they did not get to tell on television, so they brought back the comic, they finished the story they wanted to tell, and it was great. Serenity, same kind of thing. Like some of the miniseries and stuff, while I enjoyed them a lot, you could tell it was sort of tacked on content to sort of put something out before the Serenity movie.
Yeah.
And then it was that did really well. Let's put out a few sort of one shots that don't push the story forward. Then they did the Shepherd's Tale OGN, which hands down was one of the best things they put out from that, because it's content that they never got to put on television, which they were now using the comic medium to push out. The Serenity comic that exists now is finally stuff after the movie. You can see some of the plans that were in place, so I'm really enjoying it, but it's too early to tell exactly where they're going to go with it. The difference between that and the Buffy comic to me right now is I don't get the impression that these are stories necessarily that he was dying to tell. It's more along the lines of, okay, I can tell more Buffy stories. Well, this is what I'm
thought
doing.
The first, at least seasons 8 and 9 of Buffy were really solid, but then I just completely fell off both of them last quote-unquote season, and I didn't see the
last season was season
10,
9.
Right? Or is this on 10 now? It's not 11?
On 10
maybe
now.
Okay, so maybe like halfway through season 9 I kind of fell off then. So then anyone I haven't even checked that. I used to read so many of them, but I
have large stacks at home, which actually I moved to the top of my stack so I could get caught up on recently. But when it feels open-ended again, like it's not so much that they had a burning desire to tell more stories with that. It kind of shows, and a large part of that, again, is, yes, Joss Whedon is overseeing it, but I'm not sure the last time he actually wrote one of these comics.
Yeah. Now, part of it, too, I think you could just look at the kind of the drop in malaise in like single-issue comic sales these days. But, but part of it is, I think there hasn't, the Star Wars, when Marvel relaunches that in January, the Star Wars stuff will be huge, right? I mean, I think will have the biggest surge of influx of new readers for a licensed comic. But right now, nothing's hitting like it used to.
Another good example.
Well, okay. Actually, that's a perfect example. Yeah. Avatar is a huge success right now.
But they got an excellent writer to write it,
It's
too.
a very different format, and it's aimed at a very different audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's cool, the first Avatar book, they actually did in-between stories. There were short stories that go in between certain episodes. And then they kind of did a sequels to the show.
Those were actually, you talk about the Lost?
Yeah.
Those were actually
in magazines.
reprints.
Yeah, they were like in the Disney magazines or something, weren't they?
The Nickelodeon,
Nickelodeon, I'm sorry. Yeah, they were
definitely short stories from the Nickelodeon magazine.
One of the people who rarely writes licensed properties, but I really like it when he does, is Greg Weisman, because typically if he's writing the property, it's because he was very much involved in the property.
Young Justice
and Gargoyles.
So you want Marvel to relaunch a new Gargoyles comic book?
Oh, I totally want, yes, I'm a big fan of the Samurai Jack comic right now, written by Jim Zub, and if it was Gendy writing it, Gendy Terezovsky, I'd be an even bigger fan of it. That's what you would get if you got Greg Weisman to be writing the Gargoyles comic.
Wasn't Weisman writing the actual Young Justice book too?
Yeah.
Yes, he was. And I'm almost ashamed to say that I didn't get around to checking that out yet, but it's been on my list because I know he wrote it, and therefore
he's a guy that really, really cares. I mean, you can tell by the Twitter, the stuff he tweets about. I mean, he really, really cares about the stuff he writes.
Not to mention, he's put together a lot of impromptu, okay, we're going to do a Young Justice get-together at Comic-Con. Even though we don't have a panel scheduled, I'm going to get everybody together out here on the lawn at this time, and we're going to hold it.
You should join so you get Batman with all the bad accents and the Asian stuff and racist stuff.
What?
I'm kidding, right? Just joshing
Young Justice?
Yes.
I love Young Justice. Well,
now you remember.
The first season and a half of Young Justice.
Any event.
It got shitty at the end.
Again.
And then it got really, really good in the last 30 seconds.
I'm going to kill you, Ryan.
The back half of season 2 is really bad.
No.
The Reach are the worst characters ever.
The show is awesome.
It was mostly really good, yes.
I like it when creators care. That is, I guess, my bottom line.
I think it goes back to what you said about the Farscape stuff tying in. Like it works when it's when it can be add to the existing content. Like I was reading the Sons of Anarchy comic book series, and that tied in really well with the last season. Not this past one, the one before. Like it was a story that was told it was literally like an episode that didn't air, and they took it and put it in comic form, and it fits really nice. So because I went back and read some of that Star Wars stuff like Legacy and Knights of the Old Republic, and it's good stuff. It's great to kind of get back into that world, but yeah, it's the desire to keep reading is not necessarily there.
I like when it comes to a lot of, especially the Star Wars stuff, if it's a little more self-contained.
Yeah.
Like I've read a number of like the mini series and that kind of stuff, and I get into that kind of stuff a lot more than I do we're putting out the latest issue of. They've had so many different titles now, but yeah.
All right, Charlie, Toby, you read a comic book that we were all talking about last week. Well, almost all.
We
of us.
did?
Yeah.
Dead Body Road.
Dead Body Road.
Brock's
Comic
book.
books, Comic Conspiracies book club pick of the month for
July/August.
The
The one that we were supposed to read like 3 months ago?
Yeah, into September.
Okay.
Talk about it.
Charlie, I think, liked it, right?
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Dead Body Road is probably the best example of a action movie that I have read in comic book form in a long time.
Second to the Losers?
No.
Wow. Losers is fantastic.
Look, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying that when I say a long time, it's been even longer since I've read The Losers. So it's just one of those things where... And the writer of Dead Body Road also wrote Luther Strode, if I recall correctly. And his writing on Luther Strode had the same feeling to me, but I do feel Dead Body Road is a better example of a movie that... Yes, a better example of a movie in terms of the way that it kind of has good fleshed out characters that fit certain archetypes, that you can communicate a very basic story and then focused on the action.
Okay.
So it's the closest you get to sort of the general summer blockbuster action movie where you shut off your brain and just enjoy the ride. Mm-hmm. And if you go into this book, it's basically knowing you're reading that, you will enjoy it quite a bit.
My turn?
Cool. I got nothing else to say. Yeah.
All right. I never finished a book because I stopped caring about halfway through. So, sorry. It's not because I didn't try. I actually tried to finish reading it. I just stopped carrying it. I didn't like that early on. Some of the characters looked very similar, and I kind of lost track of who is who. I had to actually go back a few pages, reread some of them, and then figure out if they're the same or not the same and stuff like that. I like the flashy art, most cases, except for some of the characters. I also... So it's kind of hard to explain this. Sin City, I enjoyed as a comic book far more than I did the movie. This is a comic book I would probably enjoy a lot more as a movie than as a comic book. So, I mean, they've spent so much time into the cool, splashy action pages where it's like, okay, I see this as a movie totally. It's almost like a shame because they put so much work into those pages where I'm like, I'd rather see this in a movie than in a book. Like, I don't know. There's certain...
Well,
there's certain stories made for movies. There's certain stories made for comic books.
9/10 of independent comics created these days are movie pitches, right? Just disguised as comic books.
And I kind of felt a little bit like that.
Storyboard it; it's already there. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Did you get to the car chase?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I'm referring to right now. Yeah, that's. I don't know. I would have liked seeing this as a movie. I probably would have enjoyed it as a movie. As a comic book, I don't know. I want it more. So. That's kind of where I'm at.
You guys forgot review scores.
I'm going to go 4 out of 8 Brocks. I mean, 4 out of 10 Brocks.
I like how you just changed the scale there.
No, I mean, if you like Charlie says, if you like an action-packed story, it's cool. Maybe I had to make it to the end. Maybe I was wrong about it. Sometimes there's that thing in the end that just makes the whole book awesome. It's quite possible. It's just sad that I wasn't interested enough to go all the way there, right? Other than that, I mean, the characters didn't really take me in. Like in Sin City, I mean, I started reading that the Damn to Kill For, and I was like enthralled. My entire universe changed when I was reading it. This, I was like, I want to watch this as a movie, but as a comic book, I'm like, it started to drag for me a little bit. So that's kind of where I was at. So 4 out of 10 Brocks.
So I read this in trade form this time, but I originally read the first the first 2 issues when they came out. And from issue 1, my brain kind of checked into the generic action movie storyline. And once I got that context in my head, it's all good. And because I read it that way and because I see it that way, I just considered it a really good summer blockbuster action type story. So I give it an 8 out of 10 Brox.
Sounds good. And that's all we got. A very nice, short, little episode. Actually, before we wrap up here, I need to plug something. My girlfriend, Leanne, who's not been on this podcast, but she's been on...
That's Zatanna.
Oh, do you like that new Zatanna piece she did?
Yes,
yeah,
I like that
She
Zatanna.
touched it up today a little bit.
Did you do fishnets?
No. She changed some
Have you not seen the
stuff.
Zatanna
Yeah,
yet?
I did. It looked like pants.
Well, that's what she wears. What was it?
I like the
Here we
Batman
go.
bunny.
Oh, yeah, the Batman. That was my suggestion.
That was a
my
great suggestion.
So I will let her know. Anyway, her and a number of other artists that go to San Jose State University have, and she actually works there now. So she graduated from there last year. They have done a charity auction. If you go to doodlebender.com, DOODLE, doodlebender.com.
Did it all draw Bender?
No, that'd be great, though. One of their former classmates / he became a teacher later, Jules Jamal, actually passed away earlier this year. And they're doing an auction for scholarship in his name at the school. So if you go to doodlebender.com, it's the Jules Jamal Superhero Art Auction. It ends this Saturday. I believe there's a live auction this Saturday, too, at San Jose State. So if you hear this in the next few days and you want to bid on any of these pieces, there's some pretty cool ones. She did a Sailor Moon piece that's, I think, about 3/4 of the way down the page or so. So go check that out. And if you like that, go bid on some of the stuff.
And you should also visit her page.
And you should. You should visit leannehill.com. Go there. It says our website's not available.
This is awesome radio. We're
I
going
know.
to talk about while our website is not loading.
I can hit
Woody Who.
We're having technical
While we're talking about
difficulties.
this, I'd like to say that I, instead being on last week's podcast, was on someone else's podcast. I became a traitor. Not really. We just recorded a whole lot later than this podcast did.
And a whole lot longer.
Yeah, I joined Charlie's Wonders in 4D podcast last
Nice.
week for the Peter Capaldi opening. I think you guys already posted the second one. No, not yet.
No, we recorded the second one. It will post
I
on
know I missed
Thursday.
that. Yeah. So the current episode, if you like to me babble about Doctor Who, I know Omar probably doesn't care, but anybody else that wants to hear me about babble about Doctor Who, I was there for the opening of Peter Capaldi's episode.
Nice. I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's leannehill.com. I don't know why this stupid site wouldn't load. There we go. leannehill.com. Go check that out. That's our website. And you can also go check out her... she's on Etsy, where she sells prints of all this stuff.
Yeah.
But mostly, go check out the Jules Jamal Superhero Art Auction on Doodlebender.
But
Yeah.
you can buy her prints on Etsy, and they're very nice.
Yes, you can do that too.
And you
Okay.
can even buy some here in the store.
You buy all of them here in the store. So, yep, here you go. We should post
Well,
that too.
unless you sold out. And then,
Yeah,
then you have to wait.
And now I feel bad because my sister's on Etsy. I totally don't know her website. I think it's like Beaver Maids. Well, she has two. She has like Anita's Monster, which she does like animal activist prints, and then she has Beaver Maid, I think it's called, and she does other stuff there, like
Nice.
little stamps and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And now for the normal crap. You can listen to this episode and all our previous episodes at geekbox.net
Woohoo!
and occasionally comicsconspiracy.biz. And I actually need to update the YouTube shit. I got so many episodes to still post on there.
Yeah.
We'll do that soon. Forums at geekbox.net is where you can go and talk to people listening to this episode.
Yes.
Go talk to them. And also the Geekbox Facebook group. Just go search for that. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. Go buy some digital comics. We've had some pretty banner months despite the Amazon sale. We've sold a shitload of digital comics through this
Yay.
site.
They've had a lot of good
It was
sales.
an Amazon sale.
Well, they sold to Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, so people were like, well, I'm never going to use this again. And then my sales doubled. So
Oh, wow.
there you go. What can you do? Go there, buy some comics.
Yeah.
We get a nice little cut. So it helps the store.
Yay!
Helps the podcast.
If you're having
Hey.
difficulty with subscriptions at your local comic store, we will do mail order.
Oh, yeah. We have plenty of mail order guys we send stuff out to. So give us a ring or email if you get. We send out books every month.
If you ever have a question, it's what is it, Stefano? What is his handle?
Stefano on Twitter. You'll see. We talk him back and forth all the time. He always sends some nice pictures of all the great packing job we send his books. So.
He
gets a lot of stuff.
can attest to the quality.
Yeah. ConspiratedBrock.com is Brock's blog and video blog stuff. You can go check that out. Comics in Decline, Omar's website, the Infinite Longbox podcast, and The Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension, where you can hear Toby once and Charlie every week.
Yes.
I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan on Twitter.
I bring the companion love to the podcast.
Brock's Brock Sager. Omar's Comics in Decline. He's in Germany right now.
Yes, for a wedding.
Yeah, I think he'll be back in a week or two.
He's going to bring back some of that German beer.
Bryce's
It's going to be an excellent episode.
Nice. Bryce's Larson Bryce. I think he's going to be back on next week. Toby is Toby XI, but he just sends out porn and spam, so don't follow him because he doesn't have a Twitter account right now.
I can't even access it. I'm sorry.
You're on my friends list, and I don't see any of that junk.
Oh, good.
Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. You can listen to the Comedy Button, Geekbox, which I'm on, Good Job Brain, the All Talk Podcast. Rumors are there's going to be some more All Talk Podcast and spin-off podcast, so I'll probably talk about that next
I think I got to give out the shout-out to Peter Gibson, I believe. Hopefully I got the name right. I'm sorry I didn't see you at Higher Day. It was awesome. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it too.
Cool. All right, we'll be back next week for a new episode.
I hope got the name right.
Thanks.
I feel lame with it.
Yeah, it'd be
Hey, and fix it in post.